Greetings and welcome to our last installment of the series on personal discovery. And today we close off by talking about spirituality and religion. Remember, we're talking about discovering self. And we're saying spirituality and religion. So let's put a few definitions through. We're going to look at spirituality as the acceptance of the existence of a supernatural creative force, a God force that is responsible for creating and sustaining order in the universe. A higher power, that there is life beyond what we can touch, feel, and see. That's spirituality. Religion, we're going to talk about as those rules, regulations, those formats, those formulae, those packaged methods that we use in order to worship that particular power. Now, right from there, you can see that there are people who are spiritual and not religious. There are people who are religious and not spiritual. There are people who are neither spiritual nor religious. And there are people who are both spiritual and religious. And when we look at those four categories, the sad thing is, it is not enough to just assume that spiritual is good. Because, believe it or not, the devil lives in the spiritual world. So you can be spiritual and religious, but being a devil worshipper. So there are Satanists. There are people who actually worship dark occultic forces. And so it is important to understand this. Remember, we're talking about personal discovery series. So you might be involved. When people are initiated into the occult, they're hardly ever aware. Very few people actually walk up and say, I want to be initiated. Most people discover when they're halfway through that you are way too gone into an occultic order. And so, very, very important for us to understand. Let's look at some of the scriptural underpinnings that make it clear that there is a dark world in the spiritual. Let's start with the one that actually puts it out there. In the book of Ephesians chapter 6, the Bible talks about the armor of God. And it says that we battle not against flesh and blood, that's the physical, but against powers and spiritualities in the heavenly realm. So we battle. So remember, we said we exist from the spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. And even though our physical is what we can touch and feel, but the battle, the Bible says, is not at this level. The battle is actually at the spiritual. So it's like we are like chess bodies. We are the pawns being moved. But there's a grandmaster above us who is Christ. And there's another one on the other side who is Satan. The beauty is that we know from Revelation 12 verse 7 that when war broke out in heaven, Satan was cast down. So we know that the end of this movie is the victory of the Christians. So we need to understand. John 8:44. Jesus said in his own words, you are of your father the devil. In other words, there is our Father which art in heaven, and there is another father who is the devil in the spiritual realm. It's important for us to understand this because there is a general misconception that spirituality equals Christ-likeness. Spirituality equals benevolence. Spirituality means good. It doesn't always mean that. The battles are at the spiritual level. So ours is actually to make a choice. Which do you want to enlist into? Which army do you want to join? Which camouflage do you want to wear? Christ's camouflage or the devil's? And that is a choice that we have to make. God refuses to make that choice on our behalf. He gave us the power of choice, and we need to make the choice. Hope you've learned something, and I hope you're going to make the right choice. This is a choice that you don't make and just relax. This is a choice you make once, and then every single day you reaffirm, because every single day you are given an opportunity to choose. You are always at crossroads, and you have to choose to go straight, turn right, or turn left. You are always at a traffic circle. You either exit this way, exit that way, or go straight. You're always faced with choices, and we need to exercise those choices. God bless you.